Hello, it's Trisha at Inky Planner, and I'm here with a special video today. This is part of my first ever YouTube and Instagram hop for Waffle Flower. And Nina over at Waffle Flower contacted me and asked me if I would like to participate and sent me some awesome products, and I can't wait to play around with them. So let me just show you a little bit about what the products are. First, these creative monthly sheets, they come in these pre-printed packs or as a free download on the Waffle Flower website. And so I have the printed pack here, and they can be used as monthly or weekly. So I'm going to pull out the samples. And the size that I chose, because I work in an A5 planner, so this is like a half letter size on each side, which is really close to the A5, and you could even trim it if you wanted to be exact. But it is versatile because you could use this as a week on 2-page spread and break up your week, into work, home, or members of your family, and then put the days of the week across the top. Or you could use this as your month on 2-page spread. So lots you can do with this, and as I said, this is the pre-printed one. This comes on really nice, thick, good quality 100-pound cardstock. So you can use any kind of ink or coloring or medium on it, which I think is really cool. And then of course, they're not punched or anything, so you can choose your own binding. If you have a 3-ring or 6-ring system, you can punch, or if you have a disc bound, they even have a die for that, or I know people have punches for that. So really cool products. And then of course the stamps to go along with it. And this is just a sampling. These are the ones that I'm going to be using for today, but all kinds of awesome functional and decorative products that are coming out from Waffle Flower. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'm going to do the month of November in my A5 planner and decorate these 2 pages. So to get started, I went ahead and selected some colors just to give me a jumping off point, and these colors are inspired by this multi-striped washi here, and then I picked a couple of other washies to go along with it, but sort of purples and oranges and teals, just a really pretty palette. So this is my starting point for the page, just to kind of stick with this color family and to get my events for the month of November down on the page. Those are that's what I'm going with so far. So I think I'm going to choose this aqua, not too dark but not too light, to go ahead and put my days of the week across the top. And for that, I'm going to use these solid block days of the week that come in the Planner Dates stamp set from Waffle Flower. So I'm inking up my first stamp. This is the Monday, and I'm using a pigment ink for this one, but the nice thing about these pages is you really can use any ink. I have pulled some dye inks, like really the type of deep bleeding dye inks that I typically wouldn't use on a planner page because this paper's so nice and thick. I can use really dark colors, so I have a lot of flexibility, which is really nice. So I'm going to use this color to go all the way across. The other thing I like is because you put your own day headers in, you can start your week on either Monday or Sunday, depending on your preference. So now my days of the week are all across the top, and you'll notice that there are 6 rows of boxes, which is really nice because if you have one of those months that sort of the first is over here on this end and you end up making it all the way down to 6 lines. Sometimes planners don't offer enough lines for that, but I really like that these do. So what that allows me to do is put some, I'm just going to put some washi across here as a decorative element, and then the 1st of November is a Tuesday, so I won't start my month until this second row. So I'm going to run my washi all the way across, including across this middle line here. I think it's a way of sort of keeping these 2 pages cohesive and drawing your eye across. And I'm going to do that along the bottom as well. It's also kind of a cool tip, but if you work on 2 separate pages that you pull out of a planner and you run the washi across, I don't snip it right away. I leave it connected, and then that way, if I have to do other elements that cross the midline, it's always like nice and lined up. My pages stay lined up, which I really like. Ah, my camera turned off while I stamped these dates, but I just used the little square numbers from the calendar dates stamp set to stamp all of the numbers in through the month of November. I have all of my dates in and my headers in and some decorative washi in, and I already like how this is coming out. I made a mistake. I started doing some decorating down this sidebar and then realized that my video had stopped. So I cut a piece of white paper and I'm going to redo it so that you can see how it came together. But you can probably tell that this isn't exactly right. But I want you to, to sort of see my process pulling that together and all of the cool stamps and products for the sidebar that are available. The first thing that I used was this calendar numbers set, which has all of the numbers of the months and has 2 1s and 2 2s, which is nice because then when you want to do 11 or 12, you can stamp it just one time. And it has outlines as well as solid, which is also really nice. So I'm going to just choose, this is November, so I'm going to mount both of the 1s together on a block. And there, I've got the 2 1s together, and I'm going to use like a nice lime green ink that matches this washi. I'm using lime green from Hero Arts. And I'll just go ahead and stamp my 11 up in the corner. And then back in the planner dates set, they have the months all spelled out. And so I'm going to use that spelled out November as well. And for that one, I'm going to use that really bold purple. I have a color called Blackberry Bliss from Stampin' Up. Matches really nicely. And I'm just going to stamp that right across the 11. So that sort of gives my month header. Next, I noticed that we have a lot of birthdays going on in November. For whatever reason, that's a big one for our family. So rather than have so many little things sprinkled throughout the month and sort of clutter up these boxes, I thought it might be a nice idea to just sort of list them on the side by date. And there is a cool set. This is called Currently by Waffle Flower, and it has all of these dotted lines. And it's designed to use over here on the sidebar. And you can use this for any sort of lists or goals or tracking or anything you want. They have all kinds of cool headers, cool bullet icons. So I'm going to count up my birthdays and create as many lines as the number of birthdays that I have so that I can list them over on the side, and I'll use that birthday headers as well. So I'm putting down a Post-it to mask off below, and I'm going to count, see if I can do this here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 birthdays, so I want 8 lines to be showing. So I'm going to mask off with the Post-it right below that. And then hopefully I have 8 lines left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. And I did that in a pretty neutral color. I chose this Tainted Brown pigment ink from Mommy Lay, just because I like, sometimes my lines and things, I like to just sort of be part of the background. But for the header, we'll go nice and bright. I'm going to choose a bright orange, just like my washi has. This is Orange Soda from Hero Arts. And I'm going to take that birthdays header and stamp it right above my lines. And as I mentioned, they have cool icons that you can use as bullet points for your lists. And I am going to use the balloon icons that they have, because again, this is a birthday list. And I'll use a fun bright pink. This is Melon Mambo from Stampin' Up. And sorry for my head, but I do want to line these up properly, because of course they're designed to fit perfectly with those stamped lines. And I'm gonna mask again so that I only get the exact number of balloons that I need. And then I can just list my birthdays in order, and it'll be a nice easy way to keep track of cards I need to send and any events we might have going on that are birthday related. Finally, down here in the corner, I sometimes like to have the little grid of the upcoming month, just so that I can see, you know, if I'm looking for December 15th, all right, what day of the week is that? It's just a nice reference point. And this calendar set from Waffle Flower, which is coming back into stock, is a really cool builder for calendars like that. So it has the month titles, and then it has all of the different possible start dates for the month. And then it also has whether you want to have a Sunday starting month, week, or month layout, or a Monday start. And since I start on Monday, I'm going to choose, I don't know if you guys can see it, it's pretty small, but this one's the header of like MTWT, has all the headers. And then since December starts on a Thursday, if I choose the right grid and it lines up right underneath the T for Thursday, I can pick those up together on the block, make sure they're all nice and lined up, and I'm going to use that same sort of neutral color that I used for my lines. Now all these grids have 31 days. So if you have a month that only has 30 days, then you would obviously want to mask that 31. But since December has 31 days, I'm good to go. And I'm just going to stamp this baby right there. And see, that's really cool. You get this nice lined up reference for the upcoming month. Right above that, I will stamp the word December from the same set. And I think I'm going to go back to that bold Blackberry Bliss color. So that gives me a really nice functional sidebar for the month of November. I'm going to grab my slim friction pen and start filling my birthdays in, and then I'm going to take a look at what other events I have going on in the month and figure out how I want to fill in the days of the month. I thought it would be cute to put the date of the birthday right inside the balloon, and then the person whose birthday it was on the line. So now I've got a nice, easy reference list for all of my birthdays within the family and friends for the month of November. Love it. There are a few anniversaries in our family in November, and there's this sweet heart in this calendar set as well. So I thought I would use that and that pink ink to mark the anniversaries. So something that I always do when I have an event or anything that's going to span a couple of days is I usually use washi or something that I can spread over a couple of days to tie them together. So I think I'm going to do that for a few things this month. Conferences are Wednesday and Thursday, so I'll put a little washi across those 2 days to remind me what's going on then. And these are also opportunities, again, to connect these two pages so that your eye is drawn to them as a whole. I also, you know, Thanksgiving is the 24th, so my kids have a lot of this week off of school, so I'm going to use some washi for that. I think I'll use a pink. And they are off Wednesday through Friday. And then my husband is gone Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I was going to use washi, but then I just spotted this cute arrow. Now this is another one of the sets from the Waffle Flower releases called Social Icons. All of these cute, you know, Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest. And I love this little arrow, and I think it might be just long enough for a short little 3-day stint. So let's do that. So I'm going to set that down, pick it up with my block. I'm going to use that lime green color. And just set that right there. Use my same friction pen to write in what I have going on here. Now I just need to go in and drop in the little events throughout the rest of the month, all of which are sort of just single day events. In that calendar set, there's this little sort of teardrop shaped, like a water droplet, and I thought I would use that as just a little bullet for my events. And I just want a very pale color. I think I have a really, really pale purple, almost like a gray, that I think will go with this. This is Thistle from Simon Says Stamped Hybrid Ink. And I'm just going to use this any place that I have something to mark down. And as I have mentioned in other videos, on my monthly view, I really only kind of put down the exceptions to the rule. If I have repeating things that I do, you know, every week or every month, I don't put them in here. These are just supposed to be the, you know, the standout items. I have added most of my events with a couple of exceptions. I'm going to go back to this social icon set, and I was deciding between the YouTube and the little Instagram icon because the Waffle Flower release is here on the 3rd, so I want to make note of that. I think I'm actually going to do that on a piece of scrap paper. And what color should I do that in? I think I'm going to do it in a lighter pink. So I'm choosing Peony Pink from Mommy Lay. It sort of matches that lighter pink. And I'll let that dry for a minute, and then I'll cut it out and glue it, just because I don't want it to have that line in the background, and I think I'm going to let it overhang like that. Obviously Thursday is Thanksgiving, and I'm just going to peek through my stash and see if I have some fun stickers or anything else that I can do for Thanksgiving. And then the rest of it is just some decorative touches. So I'm going to grab a nice bold precision pen. This is a .08. And one of my favorite things to do on a spread is to draw a line around the outside. It just sort of seems to contain everything. It's a really nice look. So I'm going to do that. as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, having this all taped across the middle just makes that so easy, so the lines just meet up so nicely, and I'm not constantly trying to realign my pages. On the calendar set, they have this little, I think I'm going to use that. They have this little oval or capsule kind of a shape. And I'm going to use that same light pink, the peony pink. And I'm going to put that right there. Maybe I will even add, I think I will. In this planner dates set, you've got a couple of these little icons with the squares behind them. So there's one with a star that I like. And I'm just going to add right above that. I'll add the little star. So that'll draw some attention to this special event. I'm just going to write. I'm going to trim out my icon here for the little Instagram hop. And I'm just going to use some adhesive, just a pen adhesive to attach that. See how I have it hanging over the line? That's why I wanted to do it on a scratch piece of paper so that the line wasn't going through the middle of that image. Just think it sticks out a little better that way. I think I'm going to run a strip of washi across the top in this like bright green, just to give another little line of color up here. Just gonna eyeball that. I'll have it stop where this stops. Now I'm shuffling through my stash of stickers and coming up with a couple of just some decorative things to just sort of finish off the page. I don't feel compelled to fill every white space, but I do feel like I could jazz this up a tiny bit. I found these cute feathers that are in the same colors. Thought those would be pretty up there. Bring a little color and bling up in the corner. This sticker says shine. I thought that might fit right there. This little black arrow. Kind of define this from this. I like that. Got this little girl. Cute. And last but not least, this little sticker says thankful and grateful. And I thought that would be cute down here somewhere right on Thanksgiving. So the very last thing I want to do is add a little tab here, because this is my monthly spread for November and I want to be able to just quickly flip to November in my planner. So I've just used a punch to punch some tab shapes in a really pretty pink cardstock. And the stamp that I used for the word November here, that one from the planner dates stamp set, I'm going to just use the same, it fits perfectly on here, so I'm just going to use the same exact stamp. And what I thought I would do is stamp this in some Versamark ink and then use some white embossing powder so that I've got a really nice crisp white header for my tab. So let's go ahead and do that. So I did the same thing on the other tab, and now I can put these back to back and add them to my page. So that completes my month on 2 pages. Now all I have to do is sort of snip the washi tape right down the middle here and separate the two, and then I will punch mine for my 6-ring A5 binder, and I'll be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and punch these and put them in my binder, and then I will have some still photos of how it is inside my A5 planner at the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching today. I hope you had fun checking out these new products with me. I had a lot of fun playing with all of these new functional stamps and supplies, and I really want to thank Nina for inviting me to participate in this hop. I have enjoyed it, and I will definitely be using these products in future spreads. I would like to try these in my weekly inserts as well, and come up with all kinds of ways to use them. So thanks again. Make sure that you also check out the other stops on the hop and see all of the creative ways to use these new products and get inspired by these other talented ladies. Thanks so much, everybody. Appreciate you watching. Have a great day.